My dear community, welcome to my channel. My name is Wei-Jen, and I help people to attract their desirable lifestyle and love by expanding their awareness, self-love, and energy vibration. Today, the topic that I want to talk about is understand this to activate your manifestation. So this is something that I experienced in the past couple of days and a weekend. That I had a day where I felt pretty low and pretty down. And even at some point, I felt that I was almost out of control to manage my emotion and my triggers and my wounds. And so this is how I experienced it, and I want to share with you. And hopefully by the end of my story, you will understand this better in order to activate your manifestation and then also increase your energy vibration to attract the things that you desire to have in your life, because you deserve it, right? You deserve whatever you want. Unless except trying to control other people or manipulate others, the things that you want in your own way. But the rest of it, I think generally we all desire for the things that we want to have, as long as we're not hurting others, right? So here is how I experienced the day that I felt, and I was very aware and then noticed that myself that I got triggered from a specific moment and event. I was very aware of that, and I was very mindful of that. As I was observing and then, being aware of that trigger and that negative feelings and energy, right, is around me. Besides being aware of it, that I thought, my first, thought is, I got this. I can handle this, and just let me be aware carefully about all these negative energy and triggers and thoughts, right? And then eventually I will be fine. Eventually I will be, I will cross the other side of the tunnel. And so that's how confident that I felt. And so I decided, okay, I was gonna do my own thing, to make myself feel better, do a lot of self-care. But it kind of, got worse. I mean, not worse, but it just didn't, take me to anywhere where I felt, I wanted to feel better. Or at least not, to a place where I expected myself to feel better, right? By the end of the day. And so what happened to me is that when I was aware with these feelings and thoughts and an energy around me, those were negative, I had a really poor sleep that night. And the next day, I was still aware of those feelings, and because nothing has changed the next day in the morning. So I decided I was gonna go meditating and then do some journaling and then affirmation and blah blah blah, as you can imagine, those like self-care activities. I thought, and yet at the same time expecting myself will feel better by the end of the day. Turns out it didn't get better. I did a meditation in the early morning the next day. I journaled quite some time the same day. I went to the gym, did some weightlifting, and then did some boxing, and nothing has changed. And so I was very fortunate that I got to talk to a friend of mine who is also in his own spiritual awakening journey. And I, talked to him to sort things out. And then during those couple hours of our discussion, this is something that I realized and then I want to share with you. The reason why those meditations, affirmation, journaling, working out, moving myself, moving around with my butt don't work is because I didn't ask myself some deep questions. What the deep questions, such as what is the deep messages underneath my negative thoughts, triggers, and negative feelings, and even patterns. I mean, I could write it, I did write out, my vicious cycle and unhealthy, unbalanced patterns, but I didn't think about asking myself, what is the message underneath those patterns? And so through the guidance, from my friend, I get this opportunity to ask myself those questions. And as I was sharing with him, I had a few epiphany moments that came to me, and memories like, I was thinking about my dad as I was sharing, my feelings and thoughts from the present time with my friend. And then my dad, there was this image, and a childhood, memory came to my mind. And so I quickly grabbed that images, and then share with my friend. And I discovered that a lot of times during that day, the reason I didn't feel any better, and then I tried to, do as much as I can to take care of myself, yet at the same time I didn't feel any better, is because I forgot to discover what is my belief underneath that pattern and negative feelings. And in the end of the conversation between me and my friend, I discovered that beneath my vicious cycle and unhealthy patterns is actually, there is a belief, the belief of I am a flaw, belief of that I am not good enough, or belief that I'm a burden. And those beliefs, they were cultivated subconsciously or consciously since I was a baby, since I was a child. Even I don't remember the single, each detail when I was in my young age, as a young child or a baby. But still, I've already cultivated those beliefs within me. And that's why in the end of the discussion with my friend, I realized that what I was doing the other day, why I didn't feel any better, it's because I was trying to put all the band-aids on this unhealthy and negative belief. And yet at the same time, I'm not going anywhere. I don't feel any better. And I'm expecting that, through those affirmations, meditations, journaling, I will feel any better. But that doesn't serve me. That's not how it works. How it works is supposed to be, understand what is our belief system. And then once I understand that deep, my belief system, that I have this judgment about myself, even when I was a child, even when I was young, because of that judgment, I created this belief that is unhealthy, that doesn't serve me anymore, right? So understand that belief, and then eventually, then I can have an opportunity and have some space to dust it out, the unhealthy patterns or the vicious cycle or unhealthy behaviors or even feelings or thoughts that they don't serve me anymore, right? Then I can dust them off. But until then, I have to really clearly see myself. What is my belief underneath those patterns, behaviors, and feelings, right? So once I understand, okay, this is how I used to believe. Now I can see it. I can see it. Now, let me practice meditation and affirmation. And, before I do those things, when I understand this is my belief, and then this is how I judge myself, I have to there's also a very important step in this process, is to come with a radical acceptance. Accepting Okay, this is how I used to believe myself. Okay, this is how I used to judge myself consciously or subconsciously. And then this is how I perceive the world because of my belief system, good or bad. This is how I perceive my relationship with myself and then also with another person, good or bad. Because those beliefs, and the judgment, they lead us to perceive how we view the world, how we view our relationship, and then also they impact our perception as well. So I think it's very crucial to also come with radical acceptance. Accepting this is my belief and these are the beliefs that bring me all these negative feelings and thoughts and of course experience as well. Radical acceptance also includes embracing our imperfection, accepting as it is, accepting our past, our parents, they are not perfect, right? Accepting that this is my imperfection and this is still right now at this moment I am still struggling with my emotion or with my intellect and my inner child is nagging, right? So those are part of acceptance as well. And then once I can accept all those beautiful things, good and bad, negative or positive, right? Then I can start to view each one of my belief and then my judgment and my character traits in a very non-judgmental way. And then that's where the meditation comes from. And then when we can really clearly observe each emotion comes and goes, each thought comes and goes, then we have an opportunity to recreate and rewire what kind of thought, feelings, and belief, and even judgment that we want to create. And so that is the next step, that where we started to do the affirmation, to start to do some journaling, and then writing about our future, our vision. So that is my point that I want to share with you today, is that why sometimes affirmation, journaling, working out, meditation, they don't work. Is because there is a very crucial step that I miss, and maybe some of you may also miss, is that we forget to look into what is our belief underneath those feelings, thoughts, and actions, and even negative, patterns or autopilot behavior. So that's my thought today, and I hope you find this video is very insightful and valuable to you. If you do, feel free to like my video and then share your comment, your feedback, your thoughts with me. I would love to hear that. And if you can, feel free to subscribe my channel. And if you want to dive into a deeper personal transformation, you can also book a 30 minutes free discovery call with me to find out whether or not working with me is a right fit for you. Until then, I will see you in our next video. Have a fabulous day and namaste.